Transcend Admissions Consultants. And today we're really, really lucky to have one of our previous clients, Oscar Lin, with us. Hi, Oscar.
Hi, David. Nice to see you again.
Oscar's joining us today from California, so we really appreciate him spending his time. And he's going to share some insights about his MBA journey at Indiana Kelley. And he's going to share a little bit about his post-MBA career today. So, Oscar, unfortunately, you haven't been to Taiwan for a while, but let me ask you something just for fun to start off with. But if you did come back to Taiwan, what would be the first food that you bought right off the airplane?
First food after the airplane? Wow, that's just a tough question. So
many choices, right?
So many choices. You reminded me like I traveled back to Taiwan 1 year ago during Thanksgiving, and the first food I ordered from Uber Eats was stinky tofu and the basil fried chicken. So
okay.
I requested my driver to order on the way from airport to hotel. Say, hey, could you buy me a bottle of Taiwan beer, and I will order the fried food. So that is
nice.
The food I would like to have like while I arrive Taiwan.
Big flavors, right? Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Well, look, we were working together on your MBA applications back in 2018 and 2019. So, wow, that was a long time ago. Are there any like memories from your application experience that are still with you today?
Yeah, I could never forget what happened during the application processes. So I think the best memory, not only like working on a lot of document with you, I think the most unforgettable memory is like interview part, which is like my weakness for my application. But that is really opened my open the door to be an MBA student. So I remember the first interview I got was from my current school, Kelley School of Business, and I was so shy to have a face-to-face interview, and you encouraged me to be there, and I feel like it's really like inspired me and realized how important it is to have a face-to-face interview. So after that, like for other school, I flew to Shanghai for another school. And even like after I get the application result from our school, I decided to fly to the US. I visited the 3 schools I got and to feel myself over there. And I realized that the MBA program really values the connection individual. So that's the reason why I finally decided to join the Kelley, and that is the good result, like good decision I ever made.
So maybe the point is getting through that first interview is the hardest. And once you do it, maybe it's going to be a lot easier, right?
It's got a lot of easier, and don't be shy to have face-to-face interview if you get a chance, or even visit the school. Yeah, to build out like a face-to-face, like a first-hand connection.
Unfortunately, that wasn't possible the last couple of years, but maybe it will start to be possible again soon. Let's all hope, right?
And yes, I hope that could happen.
Something I remember from back when you were applying is that you showed up a little bit late. I think you were taking the GMAT and TOEFL, kind of fighting with that, and started a little bit late before the round 2 deadlines. And it's a pretty common problem. A lot of people face this time pressure. So do you have any advice for people that are facing a big time crunch in their application?
Yeah. Wow, I almost forget what happened that time. You reminded me. So I remember like I started the application from round 1, and at that time my GMAT was not ready. So, but you still encouraged me to apply for my first school. I remember it was like Arizona State University, and that is a really nice one because like you don't need to be ready all the time. GMAT is not good, which is fine. Your interview skill is not ready, it's fine. I think it likes just like to get the first one and learn from the failure. You don't need to put it like your dream score for the first round, and then moving toward the second round, and you get a time and know how to improve yourself. So I realized like a time is limited before the second round. So I think time management is very, very important, and that is also important skill for MBA student. So I remember once I know like, oh, that is like a school I'm going to apply for my second round. I listed all of them, when is the time, and what like how many times I can do GMAT. So I did that GMAT for 2 times, and I may say the mindset is really important for the GMAT. Just like give it a less defined. Do your best for every moment before you set the timeline. And after you get a GMAT result, don't think about it. That is the best like you can achieve at that moment, and then use that the GMAT to apply for the school that you are targeting to. So the thing is that like a GMAT is not the only thing that represented with you, and I may say there are a lot of like material. So application material, and you have also do networking to get it like a information from alum to build out your story why you want to join that school. So I may say GMAT is important for international students. Definitely, this is like a quantitative for the index, but it is not like all of you. So I would recommend you like just like focus on the timeline and always do your best, and just like you're moving forward and like focus on other stuff that you can make it better.
Okay, so I think like anything else in life, there's probably going to be some failures along the way in the MBA application, and it's about learning from them quickly, right?
Yeah, learn from failure quickly is very important.
And Oscar is an engineer. He's a hardware engineer, and he used to work at TSMC, and he was pursuing an MBA to make an upgrade and a career change. So, but there's actually a lot of engineers applying for MBA, or at least considering it. So for those engineers out there that are considering this but really not sure, is there anything that you encourage them to think about, and whether to make this decision to go for it or maybe not? Like anything they should consider, Oscar?
Yeah, that is a really good question for me, because I was working in an R&D engineer department at the TSMC, which is like far away from business. So I may say learn about yourself is really important. What motivated you working during the past few years? So for me, I really enjoy the project that I handling at TSMC for a big decision, and I was focused on technical part. But I realized that when I work with the procurement manager, I realized, wow, my technical result could be translated into decision making and help them to achieve a financial goal. So that is the reason why I realized that, oh, maybe I have to pursue MBA instead of under science master degree. So a little bit interesting about myself. Before my TSMC, I was supposed to pursue PhD. So the PhD was part of my plan, so I joined the R&D department. But after that experience, I decided to explore myself. So I did a lot of networking with MBA students and post-MBA student alum as well. And I even traveled during the time between TSMC and my next job to feel like, oh yeah, this is the different culture. I traveled to Europe and the US that time, and to see what is the best country for me to get my MBA. So long story short is that knowing about yourself, if you like a cross-functional team, especially communication job, definitely MBA is a great one for you.
So I think the takeaway here is you really need to understand your future career, where you think you're going, right? And that will help you decide if it's a fit for you. But could you say more about that? Like maybe what kinds of engineering career paths are a good fit for an MBA, and that maybe an MBA could lead you there?
Okay. Before sharing that, I would like to say, as an engineer getting an MBA now, I may say don't limit yourself. MBA is a great program to reopen opportunities for your career path. But for engineer background specifically, I may say our strength is definitely like a problem solving skill, because we handle like very complicated like issues happening on daily basis on the production line, how we design everything. That is like a basic element as an engineer, like analytic skill and the detail-oriented thinking. I may say that is definitely the strength that engineers like have. And another thing is that we have the ability to communicate with technical engineer. So that mindset I never had like before I joined my current company. I realized that a lot of engineers were very shy. Like I am their technical secretary. If you need my help, I can help you to do slide, to help you to influence our cross-functional team to accept your idea or get resources. So I think the communication in technical is the strength of the engineer. So I think that is I feel like it is the best career pace fit for engineer, like a technical program manager and the supply chain, because most of the manufacturing is located in Asia. So that is the second one. And some business analytics as well, because like we naturally have the strong strength in data analysis skill. So, but again, don't limit yourself. MBA is a program to reopen opportunity. So this is I would like to share it.
Okay, so it sounds like there's a lot of possibilities to explore there based on your interest and skills, right?
Yeah.
And thankfully, after all that hard work, you were able to get into a great program, Indiana Kelley MBA. And maybe you can tell us about some great memory from your time at Indiana.
So I remember the fact like my most unforgettable memory during my MBA is the first time like I have a case competition with my teammate. So during the MBA program, the day one, like the school program assigned you form a small team. So our program formed a small team in a group of people, 5 people. And we work together on the core for the first semester at the first year. And in the end of the first semester, we get a case competition. So the case competition topic was how to help the declining like movie theater industry in Indiana. So I remember that we did like a lot of like survey on the website and almost like a consulting firm work like 15 hours a day, prepare the slide. More than that, like because we feel like this is not only like not like surveying on the website to get information was not enough for us. We even drove to the movie theater to see how to help the local theater. So that was the best memory. As a result, like not surprising, my team won the first prize among the program. So that's the best memory I ever had. Yeah, and in terms of my personal life, I built up really like a strong connections with my teammates and my friends. So my best like a memory was the time during the summertime. So that time was the pandemic year because our summer internship was all remotely.
Yeah.
So in order to have a good experience, like we hold like an event during the National Day in July, the beginning of July. We went to campfire and we do firework and like a very like a very like a countryside part of Indiana. So that it was the best memory for me. We did the barbecue layer, and I come from city. I have never experienced countryside life like that. So that is the best memory. Like I spend with my teammate to feel myself in American culture.
Well, sounds like you guys have a great community there. And
that's really nice.
So about Indiana Kelley, like maybe you could give us like a little bit of insight, something about the program that we couldn't find on the website, or that's not obvious. Is there anything you can share with us that you think special about the program?
So I would like to share like the things that you cannot cannot find on the website is our club event.
Okay.
So the club event, we get a lot of club event, and the events are like a tradition held by students. So I want to share like maybe 2 or 3 events held by our student club. The first is it's called faculty auction. So it's held by women club. So
Okay.
we usually have that event in the end of the semester, in winter semester. So that is like a faculty provide like a voluntary or some like a food, like they provide food, or they are willing to hold some event so that a student can like bid for that, like a group of students like bid for that, and then all that money will goes to like boys and girls Scott in the Bloomington, so which is
Mm.
very meaningful. And at the same time, that event like the faculty professor and some GCS culture will get the faculty the auction service
Mm-hmm.
like back to you the next semester. For example, I get a rounding group, so I bid it from our communication professor. So I ran with her like a 2 year and my fall semester every weekend, and that really
Hmm.
helped me to improve my communication while running
Wow.
with her and build strong connection with like a runner inside Cali. So that is the first one I want to share. Like this is the women club event. That's really like a very signature tradition from Cali School of Business. And then the
Mm-hmm.
second is Euphoria. So Euphoria is an event held by different nationality club, for Asian club, for like identity club, to show how diverse of our community. So that was like you can like show your culture. For example, that time that I share a slide to introduce my culture, and I also dance like a Chinese Taiwanese dance, like a traditional dance in front of them. And like an Indian group, like Indian students, they also prepare like food to share that with everyone. So that is a really nice one. I would like to say that it's definitely the one represented how diverse our community is. The last one I may say, like don't put on the don't put on your application material, but during your networking with our alum, a lot of like a bar event, tons of beer guests
Mm.
in our college town.
Still
So like
partying a lot.
party is part of our life. We
Okay.
social, we know each other. So tons of beer again I learned from my classmates at the home party, or even at the different bar, they have different beer again. So that's my favorite part, like to be in Cali, that I just hang out with the classmates and play a different beer again.
Wow. Sounds like you had some really interesting experiences there. And yeah, that's exactly the type of thing we want to know. You know, it's not on the website, but that's the type of thing you're not always in class as an MBA student. So, you know, it's good to know these things. You know, this is how you may spend your life there, and it may be really enriching. So
Yeah,
sounds like you really
definitely.
took advantage of many activities. And I think another thing you took advantage of was the STEM designation. I think Kelly has the STEM designation, STAM, right? It gives you an extra 2 years visa exemption in the US if you are in a science, technology, engineering, math program. So the MBA is now qualified as STEM. But can you tell me what you need to do to obtain this as an MBA student at Kelly?
Okay, that is a good question. So our school program qualifiers stand during my time. So in 2021, so all the students like qualify like a 3 year OPT, and it depends on your major. If my memory serves, there are like 6 major allow you to do like a STEM OPT. So the first I get it, the STEM one is like the business analytics in marketing and supply chain analytics. And even
Mm,
our marketing program is part of STEM. So another another three majors are qualified. Is finance analysis, and
Mm,
another one is probably like entrepreneurship. So I'm not sure because that's my major. So I believe that it's pretty easy to get a STEM qualified major. For example, I get my double major, and definitely like just reach out to your career center or like our academic the advisor. Then they can help you to see how to like bridge the gap that what is your real interest and the subject that you want to learn, and even you can reach out professor to explain if you can get this like a subject as a substitute for certain classes. This is what I do so that I can get like double majors.
wow, it sounds really flexible. So that's great to know that you have a lot of options there.
Mhm.
So I think that's going to be helpful. And I assume it helped you with your job search post MBA, right? And I
Yeah.
know that you're working in Silicon Valley now at a major semiconductor firm. So
Mhm.
you were looking for careers in the tech industry. Is there
Mhm.
any advice you could give people who are doing tech industry job searching?
Definitely follow the information like Wall to Wall Street or network with West Coast people to understand the trend, what is the potential technology will be used in the future. So that is definitely the one. If you are interested in tech, definitely stay engaged with the goal that you want to pursue is always the recommendation. In terms of like working in tech, I think I can share about the role. I work as a project manager, program manager. Uh, I think the skills are very important. I may say leverage the school resources to build out a skill set is important. For example, I made my major is in supply chain because there's a subject for project management,
Hmm.
and that has really helped me to understand the tool that I can use to communicate with stakeholder, and how to influence stakeholder as well. So that is the one I may say really important. And the second is like recommended to take some classes that you we don't have it in Taiwan. So when I was an engineer, like the class was most focused on the skills they build out. But in the MBA program, there are a lot of communication class. I remember I took two classes in effective communication and the
Mm.
negotiation, which is widely used as like a program manager in tech. So that it
Hmm.
will help you to concise your communication, tailor your story to influence your audience. That is good for effective communication, and the negotiation definitely because you work with your customer or your supplier closely in tech. So that is a skill set I would recommend it to have. And the last is the most important. I may say the mindset. The mindset of working in tech is I would recommend it to be open-minded. The things is different from the environment in the US of tech is different from Taiwan. It's highly diverse environment, which is invaluable resources of Silicon Valley that diverse sparks innovation. So I may say as like a program manager, or no matter what role you are working for, be open-minded to accept the different opinions from different people with different culture and diverse background. This is very important. We are here to leave comfort zone to be a better version of ourselves. Mhm.
Thanks. That's very helpful. But maybe it's just in general, a lot of people, just international students, when they're job searching in the US, it's
Mhm.
never going to be easy whether you have STEM or not. It's going to be competitive. Do you have
Mhm.
any words for people, not just
Mhm.
engineers, but anyone who's job searching in the US? Anything they should think about, or any advice you have for
Mhm.
them?
Okay. Yeah, I think as an international student, like realizing your strengths is extremely important. So you like coming to the US, getting a job in the US, like a visa sponsorship is definitely a, like I may say, a challenge. But knowing that what you really want and your strengths, and to search based on that to build out your career pace is important. A little bit about myself is that I didn't get my ideal job for the first one. From the first one, so I realized like, oh, I wanna rejoin the Silicon Valley. So location is the like a first index. So I compromised that and coming back to California, and
Mm,
after that I kept networking. Realized like networking and to focus the industry trend and find my current ideal job. So I may say, get one first. If you really want to work in the US, get one first. And that one should not be the great perfect one that you really want, but to bridge the gap like step by step and try to find a valuable experience from this position and build out the next one. So that is the first thing that I would like to share. The second is like find your motivation, why you want to find a job inside the US. So that is a little bit like frustrating because of visa. So
mm.
I may say like listed what a company you really want instead of like thinking about the sponsorship. So a lot of my classmates, they land on consumer product and healthcare, which is not like openly sponsorship, but they did a lot of networking and realize like, oh, they are not turning you down because of that. As long as you know what you really want, this is the industry you want to work for, and why you want to work in a such like in the US for this specific industry, knowing that and convince your interviewers are very important. Yeah, so that is the experience I really want to share. Like, and that is like working in the US is very fun and interesting. The process of looking for a job in the US is frustrating. I won't say it's like all like a beautiful, not easy thing, but I may say keep it open-minded. Yeah, it's very important. Yeah.
I think that's very helpful. And if we listen to that and we really find our motivation, find our strengths, we'll end up being successful in the end, even if there were some frustrations along the way. And I
Yeah.
have to say, Oscar, I admire you a lot. I mean, you were in the MBA when the pandemic erupted, so you had to search for an internship, you had to search for your job when you graduated during this really difficult time, and you
Mhm.
found a way to make it. And but I remember you told me that like when the pandemic erupted and a lot of internships were canceled or went remote, that the Kelley alumni really stepped up and helped you guys, right? Can you
Yeah.
tell me more about that?
Oh, yeah, sure. So last time, like during February, because I was targeting at like a tech industry, I remember I get a 10 interview and one over that time, and I was extremely excited, like, oh, I'm going to find an ideal job. But at the moment, like COVID hit us, hit the US in the Midwest, and my offer was rescinded, and the 10 interviews won't like closed like one by one.
Wow.
I was so frustrated. I was so
Mm,
frustrated because I literally, wow, I was almost there laying down on my job, but it turns out zero again.
mm,
And I reach out to my GCS. They are extremely helpful. They are extremely helpful. They ask me, they reach out along to find like a project and find out like a local business to create a project to post on our portal, our GCS portal, and the student could apply from that portal and still have like a good interview process to figure out which one help you to gain experience, during the summertime. And I that time I like our school get a lot of marketing, project which was not well aligned with my personal interest, because I would like to have more like a program manager or even supply chain experiences. So I reach out alum like directly they own a startup and talking about my idea, what is the the experience I want to learn from my summer internship, and to create it like a project by myself. And then I reach out to GCS alum. They say, hey, we all like there was a alum like you willing to support me a project, and the school was willing to pay a little bit like our rate to to
Mm.
support my project. So that was like extremely, I feel really grateful that the GCS and the online are willing to help me to gain to secure like a good experience at Kelley School of Business.
Yeah, I think that's really impressive. I mean, that's really what a community is all about, right? When people are having trouble, others step up and
Mhm.
really give you resources. So I think
Mm.
when we talk
Yeah.
about this school has a strong community, it's actually exactly this type of thing we're talking about, right? And people are really sounds like they help each other.
Yeah, like they help each other, they provide you resources, even though like my case, even though you feel like it's not what I want, you created your one and they figured out how to help you. So this is how Cali folks work together.
And that's really interesting. And if you don't mind, Oscar, I'm going to say something personal about you. You know, I got to
Mhm.
know Oscar really well by helping him create a lot of essays for many applications. So I know one thing about Oscar is he loves to dance. He was the like
Oh,
president of his dance club in university. And I
mhm.
noticed that during this pandemic time, he's been staying busy by continuing to dance. I think that like to keep yourself motivated and happy, right? And I think you can get on TikTok and maybe find some of Oscar's dance. So, Oscar, I want to know what's your all-time favorite dance song? I know
Oh,
there's a
my
lot. It's
favorite
probably hard to
one. Let's just
choose, but
I know this is a hard. My favorite dance song is probably the one I currently met. It's like Rihanna's "Don't Stop the Music." So
mm,
that is my favorite one, and that was the
that's a high
first
energy.
high energy one. That was the first song that I made like during my school time. So I remember I shared it with Debbie that I was I danced like a locking and hip hop before I danced New Jazz and the reggae, which is a more Vietnamese style. But that's me. So I decided to share that song and the choreography on my TikTok recently. Yeah. I really during pandemic, and I used a different way to interact with my Taiwanese folks and my classmates, and they encouraged me to have the TikTok. And by the way, I also use the TikTok to do some like school event promotion. So
Oh,
that is
nice.
the idea. Yeah, that's the idea from Kelley alum for a LGBTQ event to promote the awareness for LGBTQ and Asian, like stop Asian hate that time.
Well, congratulations for moving in the direction your career wanted to go in, Oscar. I'm really glad you had a great experience with MBA. I'm
Mhm,
glad you found your way to where you want to be in Silicon
mhm.
Valley, and I wish you continued success in your career. And just thanks so much for sharing your insights with us today. And keep
Thank
on dancing, Oscar.
Thank you, Debbie. Thanks for helping me all the pre-experience and the recommended date like a Kelly to me. And I think that is the best like a decision I ever had. Like in the day one, I was like, is that a school I should join? And after experience here, this is like I said, this is a decision I never feel regretful, and I deeply appreciate it, Davey.
It was great working with you, Oscar. Well, thanks for
Thank you.
talking with us today.
Mhm.
Take care and be well, okay?
Okay, sure.
Bye.